suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah's inside of the conscientious, so I move.
But there's the larger part of the game that must be paid attention to as well. And recognize that basketball, football, soccer, and other things are primal male games, and ultimately are games of war, and involve themselves about the defense of territory. The line that runs down the center of the basketball court is a borderline. It separates two antagonistic forces. And the major problem there is to defend your territory against incursions from the other side. And to what? Invade and take from the other what one must take in order to win and to survive. And it's interesting to see a whole psychology operating there. The psychology of teamwork, the psychology of organization, the psychology of morale, the psychology of hierarchy with captains and guards and other people operating there to defend territory and to defeat the enemy. And yet to see black men play that game and miss all the points. To see black men walk on that court and call themselves by one name, Bulls and Bullets and Knicks and Celtics, to take one name and operate under that name, identify with that name, be proud of that name, organize around that name, and on top of that, to dress just alike in uniforms. Yes, to organize themselves and sit down and plot strategy and tactics, to study the nature of the enemy and seek to defeat that enemy. Isn't it amazing that black men can go on these courts and on these football fields, playing these primordial games of men and the games that reflect the realities of life, and cannot play them in real life? And can only play them under the courtship and the management of white men. Create billions of dollars of wealth playing for pennies. $5 million a year is no money when you're creating 2 and 3 billion or more. Going into a ring, knocking another man's brains out for $20 million is no money when the match itself generates over $200 million to $300 million. And you got a bunch of jokers out there living vicariously through this battle. And so you got a bunch of men who will take one name, Bulls and so forth, and wear one uniform. And when they come off the court, you say, then why don't we call ourselves African? I'm an individual. You say, all of a sudden we're individuals. We're not connected. We are interbred with all kinds of races and groups. And yet this is how you make your money. This is how the thing works out. So there's a larger psychology there. So we get young black males who will attack other ethnic group males with their kids just for walking down the street. They'll attack each other. I was talking to a lady the other day, a mother the other day, about her son who is literally locked within his own neighborhood because if he crosses the street that way, the gang that belongs to that project will attack him. And if he goes the other way, that one will attack him. Territoriality. Turf, as they say. Isn't it interesting then that men and black men and young black boys can have a sense of territoriality, but when they become grown men, Arabs can walk into the neighborhood and take the money and take the women. Koreans walk into the neighborhood, take the women, take the money, impoverish the children. All other ethnic groups just walk in and freely take and win and rule over them. What happens to the sense of territoriality? But yet you go into these courts and you play into the midnight protecting territory. Someone must have psyched your mind out. You're not approaching these games correctly. The game you're playing is a game played on you. Let's understand that. Therefore, you must study the dynamics of power. Confront it for real because it's the only thing that's going to keep you alive. There's no guarantee that you will be alive except that you fight to stay alive.
Man,
Powerful.
I gotta let that one breathe for a second.
Right. Let that marinate.
Gotta let that one breathe for a second. I need y'all to soak that in.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Dr. Amos Wilson, family. For those of y'all that don't know, the voice that y'all were hearing is the voice none other than the master teacher, Dr. Amos Wilson. And this is why we call them the master teachers, man. And I wanted to use that clip tonight to open up the show because we just coming out of the Super Bowl Sunday. We going into All-Star Weekend. And the way he broke down, you know what I'm saying, the analogy of sports and warfare and the psychological condition that we find ourselves in as a people. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted people to be able to wrap their minds around that message right there. So when this broadcast is over, I want y'all to rewind this back to the beginning and watch that one more time. Take five more minutes of your time and rewatch that part of the live stream, y'all. But in the meantime, welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. This is the Black Business Showcase. I am the God, Sincere Love, here with my lovely co-host, Nicey Girl in the digital building. What is going on with you tonight, beloved?
Hey, welcome to Thursday. Happy Thursday, everyone. Peace, blessings, reparations. Hey.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Appreciate y'all joining us tonight. Make sure y'all hit the like, share. Make sure you all subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you can be reminded when we go live with new episodes of the Godcast. Because y'all know we here every Wednesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time with the Black Business Showcase. And on Sundays, we go live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Time with our current event show where we deal with, current events and important issues dealing with the Black community. So make sure y'all stay tapped in with us for that. And in the meantime, I had this thing pulled up, but let me let y'all know who we got on the show tonight. 1 second, y'all. Had it pulled up, but I was messing around over here. All right, here we go. All right, here we go, family. All right, cool. So tonight, we are blessed to have the founder and the owner of the brand Goat by James King. Goat by James King is a premium lifestyle brand based in Atlanta, Georgia. And their forever pursuit of greatness and excellence, their philosophy is to constantly challenge the status quo by creating beautifully crafted, functional, and meticulous designs that will be around 100+ years from now. Every detail is important. And so with that being said, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you our guest for the evening, Brother Quentin James King. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you taking the time to be with us.
So,
yeah, man, I had to get you on. I haven't been familiar with you for a very long time, but around the time when I first hit you up, you know what I'm saying, to inquire about getting you on the show, one of your ads had popped up in my feed. How that go. You know how that go. Instagram knows us very well.
Exactly.
They know I'm into supporting Black businesses, number one.
Right.
And they also kind of got a idea of my taste.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So your ad popped up in the feed, and immediately I'm like, oh, this is fly right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta find out who's behind this.
Yeah.
So definitely appreciate you taking the time to be with us, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on.
So what I like to do, I like to start off by getting into the history.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I love to hear the origin stories of how these ideas and these companies and these brands were birthed. So take us back, if you will, to the beginning. You know what I'm saying? When you first got the idea to do this, or actually, give us a little bit about your background. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and lead us up to, what brought you to to getting into the fashion world.
Yeah, so I've actually been designing on and off for 15 years, all the way back to 2007.
Well, you look about 17, so that's
I
interesting.
was going to say you only
I get it all the time, but I'm married, got 4 kids. I'm going on 9 years married, 4 kids. But like I said, I started back in 2007 designing. First brand was called Moscow Angelo, just a strictly t-shirt brand. Did it on and off for a few years. Got into the corporate world, and then I kept getting the itch to get back into it. And I started Goat by James King in 2018. And my idea behind it was I wanted to create something authentic, something that I saw as a void in the market, especially coming from a Black designer. Wasn't really concentrating on the trends, but what I felt was, truly authentic and will be around 50 plus years from now. And so I really started focusing in on quality. That's one of the major pillars of our brand proposition, and also the uniqueness of design and being able to what I like to call reimagine the classic silhouettes with more of a modern point of view. So that's pretty much how I got my start.
Well, man, I want to say, you nailed it, because exactly what you're describing is what we are seeing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your vision that you had in mind has definitely come to life. You know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly what I saw. And today I wore this polo on purpose. Today I wore this rugby.
That's it. I like.
I threw this on just before the show because we was going to have you on here. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't got the James King joint yet, but I saw your stuff. It immediately reminded me of the vintage Ralph Lauren. I don't buy this stuff no more. I had this stuff for years or whatever, but I still love it. You know what I'm saying? I still got some pieces in the closet or whatever the case may be. But immediately reminded me of that vintage Ralph Lauren 90s. I don't know if you're familiar with these brothers in Brooklyn called the Low Lifes.
Yep, Low Lifes. Yep,
the Low Lifes. So tell me about some of your inspirations with the designs. Was Ralph Lauren in mind with that?
Definitely. I mean, that's my biggest inspiration, Ralph Lauren. Ever since I can remember, I was wearing polo, and I've always been intrigued about the quality. And he just gets it, like the vision he has behind the brand. The marketing, the different types, the subsets that come out of Ralph Lauren. The purple label, rugby at one point was around. That's kind of I envision doing my brand and seeing my brand just with my take and my personal style to it, like an updated point of view. So that's my hugest inspiration, Ralph Lauren.
You did that, man.
Now, did you go to fashion design school as well?
No, I have no fashion background, technical background. I got a bachelor's in managerial science, just business management. But I've always had a passion, as when I was younger, with design in general, not necessarily fashion, but design in general. And so I decided to do something about it and, start my own clothing line.
What would you say the differences are?
I'm sorry?
With the design and fashion. I'm sorry. The design and fashion, what are the differences?
It's really not that huge of a difference. Fashion is more specialized. So when you're talking about fashion, you're talking about clothing, maybe accessories. But design can be anything. You look at, the great Steve Jobs. He designed the iPhone and really shaped how we view smartphones. Architecture is design. So design is a broad word. You can look at it in many different facets. But to me, fashion is more specialized to, clothing and accessories.
Gotcha. What was your question, Nicey?
I was saying, do you sketch your designs? Like, when you have these ideas, are you sketching those designs? Do you have a team that's kind of doing it for you?
Yeah, so I do sketch. I'm not that great of a drawer, but I'm good enough to get my point across. And I do have someone that
Right.
works on, the tech packs and the digitalization that's needed to take it to the next level for cut and sew. And I have tons of notes in my phone, so I could just, any given point, think of an idea. If I don't have time to draw it, then I kind of map it out in words and then get back to it. So that's typically how I design.
Artists.
Wow. You could break some of that process down because we don't know all of these things. We don't know how it goes. You're using some of the industry terminology and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So just for the general audience, you know what I'm saying? Give us an idea of how a piece comes about from idea to the finished product.
Yeah. So what I do is I just think about how I would envision a particular piece. So if I want to make a jacket, for example, so I'm looking at what fabrics do I want the jacket to be. So researching different fabrics, the weight of the fabric is important to me. I don't want anything, especially if it's for fall or winter, to be thin. So I look for a certain ounce of weight. The material, I like to test it out to see, if it's of quality. And then I go into, sketching what I envision on paper. But to take it to manufacturing, you need what they call a tech pack. What that is just the technical aspects of the garment. So it tells you, the different measurements of the jacket or whatever garment you're designing, all the details, where you want the buttons, where you want the finishes, the trim. So that will be the next step once you get your idea on paper, is creating a tech pack so that the manufacturer has the specs to follow as they're cutting the fabric and sewing it together. So primarily that's what I do, is cut and sew, which is a little bit different than just screen printing on shirts. Nothing against that, because I do that when it's needed, but I love the cut and sew. It's just something about starting from scratch, just having the fabric and being able to put the different types of fabric together and construction and seeing that end process. So
And that I'm sure that makes a difference in the quality, the overall quality, right?
Yeah, it does, and it's more specialized. When you're doing screen printing, you typically get a blank that's already constructed. For example, you may have a hoodie and you screen print on top of it. But if I want a hoodie to have 5 buttons across the chest, then I can design it that way, and they can make it that way for me. So it's just more specializing. You have your own unique taste and perspective on what you want the piece to look like.
I'm gonna ask you a little bit more about that later, but before I forget this, because you mentioned, you had started another brand before, and it was basically like this the t-shirt line or whatever. And then you went into the corporate world. So what kind of work were you doing in corporate?
Logistics, so
Okay.
operations management for different corporations, UPS, Walmart, etc.
Okay.
Yep.
And so with no technical background in fashion,
Yeah.
what type of due diligence did you have to do to get to this level?
A lot, man. A lot of research. Fashion is hard to get into because you may have experienced this if you have your own business. A lot of people don't want to give up freely information, so you just have to do your own research, test out different manufacturing. That was the hardest part, finding a manufacturer that had the cost that was in line with my budget as well as the quality. So it took months, years, and I'm still learning. I don't know it all. It's still a learning process for me. But it takes a lot of effort and time to really research, the industry and what you need to do to take the idea forward.
Yes, sir. Yes. So how long has it been so far since you got started with this brand?
For this brand, I started in December 2018, so a little over 3 years.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think this is the one here with the t-shirt line. It was just me tapping into. I'm sorry to cut you off. The t-shirt line, it was just me tapping into, I guess, my just tapping into to see if I had my creative side. I wasn't doing cut and sew; it's just me screen printing on different shirts. And fashion is extremely hard to break into. It's very cash heavy. You need a lot of cash on hand. And so, I just kind of got frustrated it wasn't really going where I thought it should. And so I kind of stepped away from it. And that's when I got in the corporate world. But my passion won't let me stay away from it too long. I'm
Good.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that.
Good. Okay. So,
Oh,
you said the t-shirt thing, and I noticed like a lot of, our people, when it comes to starting fashion lines, we kind of stay on the urban side, which I really don't know what that means other than Black.
right.
But you have a luxury brand. So can you define to us what's the difference between urban and luxury?
That's actually a good question. It shouldn't be any difference. Like you said, I think urban gets thrown around as a code word for Black. But I think
Mm-hmm.
if, the late great Virgil, who just passed, God bless him and his family, what he demonstrated was that streetwear, quote unquote, another, code word in my opinion, can be luxury. It's just it's your perspective and how you view it, the quality that you put into it. So it shouldn't be really any distinction between urban and luxury. I think it's just how you go about creating the pieces and putting the quality into and how you present it to the world.
And also not letting them box you into, those other areas, such as saying, well, this is a, urban brand or something like that, just because you're Black. No, I'm luxury too. And, we're going
Exactly.
to identify, our brand as luxury. So,
Yes,
right.
you're right about that. Yeah.
Right. And we're gonna put that price tag on it. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
You know what I mean? And y'all gonna come get it the same way y'all go to Gucci and everybody else to go get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm your brother, number one, and
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
fly.
Yeah.
It's not like
Right.
it's not fly.
Yeah. That's actually another good point. A lot of times we like to diminish ourselves, pricing our products, lowering the price when you don't have to. You price it to what the quality is and the presentation of it. And so I think that's very important. And it's difficult, I think, for Black people to do that and stick to it, but it's important too because our stuff is just as valuable as someone who's not Black is
Right.
claiming to be luxury. So that's important to stick to that.
Good point.
I
Why do you
think
why do
that's
you
our
think
fault.
yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go
I
ahead.
was
I
going to
think we
say,
was
I
gonna
think
say the
that's our
same thing.
fault. Probably. I think that that's our fault though, right? Because a lot of times when there are Black brands that come along, whether it's streetwear, urban, whatever you want to call it, the first thing we do is look at the price tag. And sometimes our community would think that we should be charging something cheaper, because it's like, oh, I'm your brother. It shouldn't cost that much. No, I'm buying high quality stuff, right? To present to you. I'm designing high quality stuff. So I'm investing in you as well, right? So you have to pay the price for that luxury brand. So I think a part of that is our fault because sometimes we devalue Black
Mhm.
owned businesses and brands as well. So we're gonna put a stop to that
Yeah,
today.
we got to yes. Definitely. I mean, and also what I had to realize too, because it is a struggle sometimes, is that my brand's not necessarily for everybody. I serve a particular market who's willing to, and really enjoy and appreciate quality. So those who are complaining about the price, it's just to me, I just look at it. It's not for you if you can't afford it.
Right.
That's fine. There's other brands out there, so just got to keep that in mind as well.
Right.
Yep.
That's a great mindset too. And I think my sister is absolutely right from a consumer standpoint. But what you touched on was even as entrepreneurs and business owners, sometimes we're afraid to put a certain price tag on our products, on our services. You know what I mean? And what do you think that is? What do you think the psychology behind, people not wanting to charge what they're actually worth? You know what I mean? People undervaluing their own selves sometimes.
I think it has something to do with the mindset. What I mean by that is oftentimes, whether consciously or subconsciously, we don't view ourselves, meaning us as Black people, as valuable as, you know, non-Black or white people or another group. And so subconsciously, because we kind of been taught that way, from elementary school to middle high school into adulthood, it's like, okay, we're not on the same pace as them. So naturally we should price this just under. So we have to, value ourselves and look at ourselves as just as valuable, as them, or if not more valuable, and stick to that. No, don't stress about people who are going to complain, because those people are going to complain whether, let's say a piece of my garment is 250. If I knocked it down to 100, they're still going to complain. So you just
Right.
can't really, focus on those people. Hopefully they'll come around, but you want to hope that they stay as a minority, in the sense that it's not many of them that are complaining about the price. And a lot of times when people see the quality of the garments, then they understand the pricing behind it. So
Right, right. Especially with your stuff, man. And we're not going to be able to emphasize enough on this broadcast the quality of the brother's stuff, man. And just from looking at it in pictures, you know what I'm saying? I could tell. I haven't even touched it or tried it on or anything. I could just see, like, this is high quality, official, fly stuff that the brother got. You know what I'm saying? And so when you put that price tag on it, it's a certain frequency that comes with that price as well. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to attract the people who are supposed to get it anyway, the people that are going to understand it, the people that are like-minded and value what you bring into the table. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to run away from that price. So I love that mindset that you have of, I might not be for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It would be great, you know what I'm saying, if I could get everybody, but I understand that this ain't going to be for everybody. And so I'm just going to focus in on my niche, you know what I'm saying, my target audience, and I'm going to make sure that I deliver quality products to those that understand it, that get it.
Right.
And they want to be fly. They want to be fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only is it quality, but it's fly. I looked at that. I'm like, I showed my son. I have a 16-year-old, and so I like to test those stuff out, him, would you rock this? Would you? Yeah. So when the kids say something like that, I feel like the kids, the youth is what kind of validates a lot of stuff, even if it's not the jeans and the hoodies. Now he's going on little dates and stuff. So, heck yeah, Mama, you buying that for me? So I was like, okay, he got something.
That's good as you said it, because I have a 15-year-old daughter, twins actually, and I knew I was onto something when they start wanting to wear what I was creating. Because number one, naturally your kids are going to look at you as daddy, so they're not going to really be interested in what you're doing. But when they started asking for, can I have that? Can I wear that? Can I wear that? I say, okay, I'm on to something. Not only do I have, my age range, but I also have the youth, and that's good.
Yeah, that's a great indicator. Your own kids, because I know my kids is tough. Everything I do is corny to them. You know what I'm saying? If it's coming from dad,
I told it to my son. He was like, "Yeah, I'll rock that." That's why I actually behind. And I'll just ask now, or tell everybody, I was asking him before we came on if he was going to get into like suits and tuxedos and stuff, next year prom from my son, and because he liked it so much, I was like, hey, are you going to be doing like suits or tuxedos and stuff? Because I got a prom coming up in a year. My son, likes his stuff. So if you can speak on that.
Yeah, that is the plan. I want to get into it all. Formal wear, just regular suits. So that is the plan. We'll see what we can do for fall. If not this year, definitely next year. We'll venture out into it. So.
Man, that's what's up. That's what's up. So I guess that would be part of the short or midterm plan, because that was going to be one of my questions. Like, what's next for the brand overall?
Yeah, so actually we're getting ready to launch our spring 22 line, the first drop next Friday. We're going to start rolling the campaign out Wednesday. We got a little minute clip or ad that we're going to showcase. So be looking for that on Instagram, on our Instagram page. And the drop officially will be next Friday for our spring. So we're just going to keep hitting spring, summer, fall, hitting the back-to-back, which can be tough, but, I think consistency is important. So that's why I try to show that, I'm not a one-hit wonder, so to speak, that I'll bring it, every single season, hopefully improve on each season. And, that's my mindset going into it.
Have you
So are you in e-commerce yet?
I'm sorry?
Or everything is online? Are you
Yes,
with any retailers as of yet, or everything is online?
I am at one retailer at Phipps Plaza in Atlanta, or Buckhead,
Okay.
Georgia, if you're familiar. That's one retailer I'm at now. And then everything else is online. I'm trying to get into a big box. Hopefully that will happen this year. So we'll see.
What's a big box, like Macy's or something?
Now, big, more upscale than that. Neiman Marcus.
Okay.
That's one of
Good.
my, so hopefully I can make that happen by the end of this
It's
year.
gonna happen. Yep.
Yes.
I'm
What's
putting
that
that in the
process
universe.
like? Is it just connections and networking?
It's connections. It's extremely hard, especially being again a black designer. But it's really about connections. So I'm trying to make those connections, connect those dots now, and hopefully and prayerfully it'll come to pass this fall.
So I would imagine that you would have to have like some type of proof of demand that people are actually, you know what I'm saying, into the brand that is making some noise. Have you done any like fashion shows, things of that nature, pop-ups, different cities and stuff like that?
I've done pop-ups. I haven't went different cities yet. I do plan at some point to venture out to different cities to get the name out there. I haven't done any fashion shows, but I will be interested. Let's seeing if I can get into some of those. But yeah, that is a plan to try to expand my reach. Is to do more pop-ups because again, I think once people are able to physically see the product, it just takes it to the next level when you can see the quality in person.
Right.
Dope. Did I notice? Are there any accessories with your brand? Belt
Um,
and
I showcased a bag. When was that? 2020.
okay.
You may can go back and see it. So I do plan on doing those type of bags. Hopefully for the fall. It's extremely hard to get the quality where I want it, and find a good manufacturer for it. So that's part of the, I guess, delay on it. But I do plan to get into accessories as well. Hats, bags, um, leather goods. I plan to do it all. It's just,
Yes,
juggling
sir.
and managing and seeing, when I'm going to roll it out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mhm.
What's the team like right now? Is,
Yeah.
is a lot of the manufacturing done in house? Are you outsourcing the manufacturing? What's the team like?
I'm outsourcing the manufacturing. I have a small team now. I am looking to expand a bit. So right now I'm the primary designer. I'm the only designer on the team. Well,
Mhm.
I wear many hats. With small business, designer, uh, finance person. But I do have a team that helps me out, with photography, modeling, videography, marketing, and that such thing. So I am looking to expand.
What would you say some of your top needs right now immediately for your company? You know what I'm saying? If you could just wave a magic wand and add a couple of pieces to the company, what would you say some of those top needs are for you?
I would say number one, like a sales rep, in regard of going to those stores that I'm interested in getting into and being able to communicate with them and learn the process and focus full time on that. Because again, like I mentioned, I'm balancing a lot of hats, try to keep everything afloat. So I would say number one, like a sales rep in that regard. Marketing is always good, and I wouldn't mind adding another designer too along the road, especially as I grow and get bigger, because fashion moves very fast. The seasons you have to a lot of times plan so far ahead. Like right now, typically you should be planning for next year's spring, and so that's how fast it moves, so that you can hit the fashion shows showing 2023 for spring. So you give the buyers the opportunity to see what you're working it with for the season and put their orders in and plan in that regard. So I would say the top two is what I will be looking to expand into.
Cool. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Make sure you guys are hitting the likes and all of that good stuff. Share this out. Invite some people to come chop it up with us. We here with the brother Quentin James King, owner of Goat by James King. We're having a good conversation so far. So make sure you guys are engaging with us, whichever platform you might be watching this on, or whether you're watching this on the replay or whatever the case may be. Family, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So a lot of women, who get into fashion, whether they're designer or not, most of them don't, design, but you have a bunch of boutiques. Have you thought about, setting up your own freestanding store, a mantique, if you will?
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely the goal. That's been a goal for a while. I do want to open up a flagship store here in Atlanta, Buckhead to be specific. So I'm hoping that within next couple of years, that is possible for to bring us to the point where we can open up our own store because I think I have a unique perspective, and I think having a flagship store and decorating and having the environment set to where I think or my point of view will be interesting. I think or enticing for people to come see and experience where the brand is coming from. So that is a top priority on my list to have that or make that happen.
That is so fly. That would be fly. I would like to see that. Um, I don't know if you follow the politics out here, but Buckhead trying to kind of succeed from Atlanta. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that, but that's another story. That's another podcast.
Yeah.
So I know we talked to a few different clothing brands on here, and I follow a lot of different Black-owned clothing brands, and it's mostly the t-shirts, the screen prints, hoodies, maybe some sweatsuits and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But your jackets and the rugbies and all of that stuff, that's a whole different thing. So how does one make that transition? Like, how do you even get to that level?
Yeah, so it involves a lot of research, and you really have to find the right manufacturing. Um, you have to understand what the manufacturer specializes in. First, you need to understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Are you trying to do jackets, pants, dresses if you're a female or male? You have to understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and then look specifically. You can Google cut and sew manufacturing. That's exactly what I did, and you just have to test them out. You ask them to create you a sample based on your tech pack. See what the quality is. Make sure it's up to your standards. Understand what the pricing arrangement is. What are your minimums? What's the minimum quantities that you can order, um, and just go from there. So it's just taking it step by step. First, understanding where you want to go with your brand. Um, Reaching out to different manufacturing to see what they offer, what their price structure is, and get that sample. Samples are extremely important. Never go full in and order a bulk order of 500 pieces without seeing their work beforehand. Even if they provide you a sample of something else that they created, you want them to provide you a sample of something that you thought out and want them to create for you to see how it's gonna fit and look quality wise.
That's good information right there, brother. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so what was that trial and error period like for you, finding the right suppliers or the right designers?
It was difficult. I lost some money the first go around with my cut and sew. I invested a lot of money into the sample was good, but unfortunately, when it was time for production, they outsourced it to another manufacturer, and so it was completely different than what the sample looked like. And so I lost a lot of money there. So sometimes it's hard to really. You can only do so much research. In that specific scenario, there was no way I would be able to know that. But I did leave a review so that others behind me that may look at that manufacturer would know, okay, not to go in that direction. So just try to do as much research as you can. Look for reviews, and but it will be kind of trial and error in that regard. But it was difficult in the beginning.
So in Atlanta, do you guys not have a garment district? Because here in LA, we have a huge garment district where you can, fabrics everywhere. Like it's downtown LA. A lot of people fly here, just to pick up fabrics. You guys don't have that there?
No, it's not that big of a market, and because it's not that big of a market, the prices are not conducive to what my budget is. But I am looking at some in LA because you guys, like you said, have a huge market out there for that. And so again, I'm going through the same process of researching and testing out samples, just to find that right fit for both of us, the manufacturer and for the brand.
Yes, indeed. We got some testimonies right here in the chat. Felicia
Oh, yeah.
said, definitely great quality. I bought some really nice pieces. That's what's up.
Oh, I
Appreciate you
appreciate
tapping in,
that.
Felicia.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So I'm based here in Georgia. I'm in Gwinnett County, right outside Atlanta, not too far.
Okay.
Is there some way I could pull up on you at and get fitted if I got an event or something coming up and I just want to get laced up?
Yeah, we can connect offline, or I'm in Merge Co at Phipps Plaza, so I go there quite frequently.
What is it?
Merge Co. It's
Merge
inside,
code.
yeah, Phipps Plaza, in Buckhead, and so I go there quite frequently. We can meet up there. They carry most of my pieces, so we can connect and make something happen.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Definitely will. Definitely will. Because I love this stuff. And I don't shop for myself as much as I used to. But whenever I got somewhere to go, event where I need to get fly real quick, I'm coming
Yeah.
to see you.
I appreciate that. I'll be ready.
So I know nicely you had prepared a couple of questions as well.
Yes, I wanted to know what is one myth about this industry that you're getting in, or profession, that you would like to debunk?
I would say I don't necessarily know what about this profession, but with any business, it takes a lot of sales to really make your money back. Even though prices may be high, it takes a lot of sales to really even break even. So it's very important that we have your support and continue support. To take it to the next level. I would say it's not as easy as what it seems. Especially in this age of Instagram and social media. A lot of people just post, people post what they want you to see and the bright sides of things. But it's hard being a business owner. It's rewarding, but it is hard work. So I would say that, basically to sum up, the myth is that it's easy. Once you just start, things are going to come, easy to you without any struggle. And it's quite the opposite. But again, it's rewarding. So don't give up.
Right. So
That's
who
definitely
has
real.
been your greatest support system then? 3 people, that has been the greatest, support for you during this journey.
Ooh, I would have to say number one, my wife. She's been with me from the beginning.
Shout out to wifey.
Yeah,
Shout out
she
to
holds
wife.
me down.
I think she might be in here right now. I think I've seen somebody in here.
She probably is.
Is this wifey right here?
Let me see. Yes.
Candace. Shout out to Candace. How you doing, beloved? Appreciate you tuning in.
So she holds me down through the good times, the bad times. Again, she wears many hats too. Whatever, I need her to be. She's always there helping out with the brand, taking care of the family. So she's, my everything. She keeps me going. So I'll say that's number one. Number two would be my mom, dad, and brother. We're a close-knit family. They've instilled in me at a young age to go after my dreams. Always gave me, encouraging words and continue to give me advice, business advice, personal advice. So I would say that's number two.
Love that.
And number three, I actually should switch it. Number two, that would be my third. Number two would be my kids. They inspire me every day just looking at them. I have twins that are 15, an 8-year-old, and a 3-year-old. So 3 girls, yeah, and a boy. And so just being able to wake up to them every day and seeing their dreams and aspirations and how they look up to me, that inspires me to keep going, and making a better life for them as well. So I would say those are my 3 inspirations.
Love that answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm feeling the love, family. I'm definitely feeling the love. For real.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that upbringing. You mentioned your family, what I'm saying, that strong support system and all of that. Where you from? Where'd you grow up at? And, was it both parents in the house? And, give us a little bit about, the personal upbringing.
Yeah, so I grew up I grew up in Fayetteville, south of Atlanta, primarily. Started off in College Park. We moved to Fayetteville when I was like 8 or 9 years old, but primarily grew up in Fayetteville, both parents in that household. So I had very good role models and examples of, a father and a mother, and then marriage. So they've instilled God into me, and taught me a lot about the Bible, and just giving me great encouragement to go after my dreams. And so I think that is really what helped me with my mindset and viewing things a certain way, is having their encouragement and support, their advice, and living example, not just words but action, seeing it
Yeah.
out. My dad is an entrepreneur. My mom is a nurse, and she's actually a missionary as well. So understanding the importance of serving, for my mom, and then getting the business aspect from my dad, it's just been great and really shaped, kind of who I am today. So
Makes perfect
Same.
sense. Makes perfect
Right.
sense. That's that whole combo, that whole chemistry. Just you're a manifestation of that.
yeah,
Love to see it.
Right.
Love to hear it. Very inspiring. Very
Yes.
inspiring. And there's a lot of lessons in it too for all of us that we could all take away. You know what I'm saying? As parents, especially if you have young children. You know what I'm saying? As people who are just growing as individuals and trying to form relationships, and understanding how important it is to maintain and keep your marriage together. And you know what I'm saying?
it's extremely important.
I'm hearing all of those lessons just in your story. So yeah, this is the product. This is the end result. So it's worth it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Stick in there.
yeah.
Now, I was digging around in your black business like we always do before we have a guest on, and I did click on the archives and on your site. You know what I mean? And I seen some of the stuff that you had out before. Are those pieces still available, or once they're gone, they're gone? How does that work?
Yeah, so that's another unique thing we do. We rarely do any restocks. Only restocks we typically do is like core pieces, maybe hoodies, sweatpants. But anything outside of that, once it's gone, it's gone. So it's a exclusivity to, what we offer, and kind of, encourage people to go ahead and get it, because I get a lot of questions of, when you restocking this, were you restocking that?
All right.
And
All right.
it's fun. So that's
All
good.
right.
Yeah, once we do a design, then that's it. We move on to the next one.
I actually like that concept. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, I have to ask you about NFTs and the the metaverse and all of that stuff now, because if you're creating a scarcity now, you know what I'm saying? You're creating these fly jackets and everybody can't get their hands on it. Now it's going to be rare.
Yeah.
It would be a good thing to connect with an NFT. I don't know if you know much about the space, but have you thought about that?
Yeah, I need to do more research. I know very little about it, but I am interested in it, and I think it's important for all of us to be, interested in it, because far too many times we get left behind with technology and the whole thing with the cryptocurrency. I think we were behind, the eight
Right.
ball playing field on that. So I am interested in it, and do a little bit more research, and
For sure. For sure. You got to
That'll
do your
be
due
dope.
diligence. But I think you got the perfect setup already. You know what I'm saying? To have success in that field. Once you do, I'm just gonna get a good understanding of how everything works.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, somebody could purchase, the digital version of the jacket and get the physical jacket to go with it. And
Oh, yeah.
now there ain't no more jackets once they sell out. So now
Right.
the NFT is gonna be worth even more because people gonna want, like it's you already got the perfect setup for it.
Yeah, I like
got it.
that. I like that line of thinking. Yeah, I need to get into that.
Right. Peace. What's going on, Mama Love?
Hey, Mama
You
Love.
late. You late. I don't know what you're doing over there. You late to the
Better
party.
late than never. Better late than never.
Word up. Dang, did I forget my question? I did. It'll come back to me.
I will ask. So what are some of the resources that has helped you along this way? It could be information, financial resources, etc. Because obviously it takes money to build what you're building. What are some of the resources that has helped you get to from 2018 to 2022? Where you are now.
Yeah, I would say resources. We primarily bootstrap so far. We haven't taking out any loans. Not to say that we aren't. When the time comes, to get to that point, which it will eventually, we will look into getting some loans. But resource wise, just really me just looking on the internet, going to different seminars, talking about business as a whole, learning the business aspect, and more specifically talking about the fashion industry. So you can Google, different seminars that may be around in your area that you can attend in person or just on a WebEx or a live like this. Is what I typically do.
And so would you be open to, say, investors? What if someone sees it and like, you know what, I want to invest and become maybe a silent partner, et cetera? Like, would you be open to things like that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm open to investors, as long as it makes sense for the brand as well as the investor. I'm open to it.
So I seen D Nice wearing some of your stuff, and I think some other influencers and stuff like that. How important is that? You know what I'm saying? How beneficial is that to getting some brand recognition and creating a demand for your products?
I think it's important. It does help because they, have a larger scale than I do, a lot of following. So it allows my reach to go even further than my current platform. So it's very important that if you can get those connections, I will say that you don't want to just focus solely on that. You want it to, most of the time come organic. Those opportunities actually came organic. They reached out to me, and I was able to, assist in providing, the garments. But there's nothing wrong with, reaching out to say, hey, do you mind, wearing this and posting it as well? Because it does help your reach. You just want to be, kind of specific in your target audience and make sure you're reaching out to the right people. Just not just anybody. So it does help. It is very helpful.
Right. That's a good point. I want to drive that home a little bit because just because somebody has a large following doesn't mean that's going to translate into sales for you. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, it has to be the right person. You have to understand who their audience is.
Yes.
And do you guys share similar, niche or whatever? You know what I'm saying? And this goes for any business. It's not just for clothes or whatever. If you're using influencer marketing, don't just go for somebody because they got a million followers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody, I seen a experiment. I forgot who this girl was, but she had like 2 million followers on Instagram and she couldn't sell 30 t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She couldn't sell 30 t-shirts. Somebody challenged her. She couldn't get rid of 30 t-shirts and she had 2 million followers. And that's because people was just following her because she's twerking all day. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't trying to buy no t-shirt. They like, no, thank you, ma'am. Turn around, bounce that ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure you find somebody whose audience makes sense for whatever it is that you bring into market.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And in fact, my parents have their own business, Roxy's Cookies. They're vegan cookies they sell. And Tabitha Brown got a hold of her cookies and did it. This is when she was doing Very Good Mondays. I don't think she does it anymore. And showcased it, and their sales, it went through the roof. I mean,
can imagine.
They had to cut it off. So I say that to say that they're selling vegan cookies. Tabitha Brown is all about vegan food. So that was a perfect match, for her to connect and then showcase those to her followers that translated to sales. So that was a excellent point that you had.
What's the name of your family's your dad's company?
It's Roxy's Vegan Cookies. Let me make sure I get that right because I don't want to.
Right. Yeah, because see, they're gonna get on you if you got it wrong.
Yeah. Jackson on viewer one, could one of y'all type it in the chat for us once he gets that together? And was that something that happened organically for him, or did he reach out and send some cookies over?
No, they actually mailed it. This is when she was accepting, products for the Very Good Monday. So they did mail it, but it's no guarantee that she's going to showcase it.
Right.
It just happened to showcase that she just happened to showcase it and the sales. So it's roxyscookies.com. That's ROXIES cookies.com.
roxyscookies.com, family. Vegan cookies. Black owned brand. And holla at Pops, man, if he want to come on the show too, man, we can chop it up with him as well. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'll definitely do that.
We do this every week. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Make that connection. We'll get him on, and see what we can do.
Okay.
So Jackson has a question. What is your favorite, most cherished piece you've created? Because you don't redo it. So
that is a good question. I got too many. You gonna make me pick
Uh-oh.
all my babies. That's like picking a favorite child. I want to say it might have to be the plaid quilted.
The plaid quilted.
Which was
Did I see that? Did I see that?
2020 fall 2000. It's between that one or the cream paisley, the one that you had on the ad.
Okay.
Those two, I was, I had to say, are my favorite pieces.
I like the corduroy, the green corduroy jacket.
Oh yeah,
for sure. That joint is hard, and the rugbies. That's what grabbed my attention right off top. You know what I'm saying? And then I was blown away by the jackets. It was the rugbies that brought me in, and then I was like, oh wait, what is this?
Yeah,
what is this?
Yeah,
dope stuff.
It's too hard. It's just depending on my mood. So one day it may be one thing, and then the other, next day it's too hard.
I wish we had like jacket weather here. Like there's just no need to have a jacket. Like we don't have seriously, my son doesn't have a jacket. He has hoodies, you know what I'm saying? A little windbreaker, but like, that would be fly to just have like, a long trench jacket, some fly pants and shirt, but we can't do jackets here.
Yeah, I used to wonder what was going on when I seen Ice Cube and Easy and them niggas with them starter jackets on, and Scully. They was wearing Scully's on top of the Jerry curl. I was like, what's going on in South Central?
Right. It wasn't cold, I'll tell you that. It just was not like
my
that.
My dad's from LA, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Perfect weather year round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there a particular piece? Oh, don't take notice of the website on the screen too, family. Roxy'sCookies.com. That's where you can get the vegan cookies from Pops. The other question from the chat is there a particular piece that puts you on the map, or that you feel represents you best?
Good question. The piece that represents me best, I would say, have to be the wool chore coat, the tan one, because I'm very into browns. I love brown. I like how it complements other colors. So I would say that piece, I would think represents me well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the brown tan wool, has the brown collar and the green corduroy pocket.
Yeah, that's dope.
So I would say that piece represents me well.
Actually, let me pull up the site while we're talking about it, so y'all can get a visual.
Yeah,
and a lot of color blocking that you do too. I like the pops of color and stuff, because sometimes our most jackets is just one color. You know what I'm saying? They don't even change the color. You're just getting that jacket. So I love the idea of the pops of color.
Yeah, I love that as well.
And I guess you purposely don't do like multiple colors. Like I only saw the green corduroy. Like it wasn't like you can get a black one, you could get this color. Like if you want this jacket, this is the color.
Yeah. So typically I try to do two colors per design. But it's good as you pointed out, that because I had a manufacturing issue. I did black of the corduroy jacket that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. But it was some manufacturing issues with the quality, and it's just I couldn't present that to our customers. So I held off on releasing it. But I typically try to do two colors per design to give you two different options. But I do have people reach out and say, hey, can you do this in the orange, or can you do this? So those, I have to turn those down because I don't really do custom things. I just do what I'm feeling at the moment and do that one run. So
got you. This is the jacket that I'm talking about, y'all.
Yeah. I love that.
Fly.
That joint fly.
That's fly. That is. Joint
fly. Now, are the pants yours too?
Yeah, the pants are ours too. So that's what I was telling Miss Nice here earlier, that I started with the pants this past fall, and I do plan to venture off into suiting as well.
Oh yeah, you see the logo right there. Okay, yeah, no doubt, man.
Oh yeah.
This is me, y'all. This is grown man, sincere love to God. If I go fly, this is how I want to look. You know what I mean?
And
I
we
just
take
love the
pride.
fact that we don't.
Go ahead. I'm
Sorry?
sorry.
I was saying, I love the fact that you're not scared of patterns, right? You know, whether it's the stripes, you know what I mean, in the pants, and just keeping it so basic. I like everything is so fun. It's classic. Like you can dress it up or down. Like it's
Mhm.
great. I love it.
Yeah, that's what we like to show
And
in our styling. I think we take our styling serious because we want to show people different ways that you can wear it that they may not have thought about.
right,
That's a
Right.
good point you brought up. We dress it up, we dress it down, because many of our pieces are versatile, and you can wear it different ways, just depending on the mood you're in or whatever event that you're trying to go to or what look you're trying to go
right,
for.
right.
And
I
also
love
not
it,
being
man.
scared of color, not being scared of patterns, because most people they'll do a shirt that got some pattern in it, but not pants, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like the opposite. Your pants are giving all the pop, and then you might
Mhm.
do a basic color shirt.
Yeah, you're right.
The big buttons, the details. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
The corduroy pocket.
Mhm.
Like, and I love how your stuff, goes together. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's cohesive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not just random pieces. Like you making
Right.
outfits, you making a wardrobe. You know what I mean?
and that's the thing that I try to go. The mindset I try to go into design is I want each piece to build off each other, and each collection, like you said, can be worn intertwined with each other. And a lot of times, the next season you can pull some stuff back from the previous season and wear with it. So it's all connected together in a sense. I have many ideas, and I only can do so much, per season. So it's all connected together.
This looks even
And I
better on
love
my
on the website.
computer because I just been seeing it on my phone. But now that I'm looking at it on my computer screen, I'm like,
Yeah.
it looks even better. Like I can see more of the details and everything. Yeah.
And I like how he's on the website. He's switching. The models are switching between dress shoes and sneakers.
Yeah, that's how
Just
we're
to
trying to.
show, how you can switch it up real quick.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Throwing the
I
ones,
just like the patterns.
throwing
I
the
was
dunks.
surprised my
This
son
jacket right
said that
here,
he will wear a pattern. Oh yeah, that's fly.
Yeah, I like that
for sure.
a lot too. That color.
Quilted joint.
I was shocked that my son said he will wear pants with patterns, y'all. This is what it was, the pants. And I
Yeah.
was so shocked. My son said that he would wear pants with patterns. Now, had I just went and bought him something, he probably would have flipped it. Like, oh, I'm not wearing that. But he saw this, and I guess it's because how he has everything, how, the models are wearing it. He was like, heck yeah, I'll wear that. I can go on a
Right.
date. All the girls will want me.
Right. Great presentation. It's a great
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah.
Oh,
My man threw the hoodie pocket on the rugby. That was different.
yeah.
Right.
That's those subtle details that we also, try to bring out that people may not even think of doing. We try to put that in there as well.
Love this joint right here.
Mhm.
Is that what you was talking about, wifey?
Oh yeah,
When
she
she
said
said
the salmon rugby. She said it was a
Oh,
salmon rugby.
that was from spring of 2021. So you probably have to scroll down a little bit more.
okay.
No, yeah.
Okay. And by the way, family, this is at goatbyjames.com. Make sure y'all visit the site, goatbyjames.com. Also follow our brother at goatbyjames on Instagram. Are you on any other social media platforms?
Just Facebook, primarily Instagram. I update that the most.
Okay.
And the same thing. Go by James King is the tag for Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Do you go live and kind of interact with your followers and stuff like that? Or
I need to work on that. I'm more of a behind the scenes type guy. That's why you probably thought the model was me.
yeah. Yeah.
I actually do model sometimes just out of necessity.
Even with the name, because I don't mean to cut you off. I I want you to finish that thought, but talk about the name too, because you said James was your middle name, right?
Yes, James is my middle name. But yeah, yeah, I model out of necessity, but I'd rather be behind the scenes. That's just kind of my personality. But I will start to interact more, probably this year, with the audience. Invite them into my world. To see how I conceptualize everything and put everything together. I think that's important. So, and then about the name, James is my middle name, and King, that comes from just the mindset of us being a king. That confidence, how we move, how we think, and then GOAT is the logo. We know what that means. Greatest of all time. Another mindset that I think we should have going into anything, no matter what it is you're doing, fashion, the corporate world, whatever your career you choose for your career path, you should always think that you're the greatest at it and work towards being the greatest. And so that's how the name came together.
Right. This is like Black Ivy League, you know what I mean?
Very,
Type
very.
shit. Like I'm how you say it? I'm speaking to existence, your networking abilities, because I can see this stuff on characters and like Power and shows like that, you know what I'm saying? Where they be dressing up the characters. And even like I said, your stuff, it could be in a 90s period piece. You know what I'm saying? Where it fits right in. Like you ain't gotta go to Ralph, you ain't gotta go to Tommy. You know what I'm saying? We could make the money circulate in the community and still, get the same point across.
Yes,
Right.
definitely.
I love it. I'm loving the pattern. I'm so glad it wasn't basic. Like usually, unfortunately, ours is just basic t-shirts, hoodie, maybe some jeans. Like I was pleasantly surprised and happy to see color and to see patterns.
Yeah,
and fabric and quality.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really try to pay attention to the details. So if you look at the inside of that jacket,
Let's go back. Boom.
Yeah, that one right there. You see, you probably can't see it on that picture very well, but it's like floral as well as stripes, and then it has JKG in it. So, as you mentioned in the beginning, we think that every detail is important, from the outside to the inside. So we really try to pay attention to that as well.
And we have another question. Do you have 2X and 3X sizes for men? So the big and tall.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
It is a good question. I get that asked a lot. I do have 2X. I'm working on expanding to 3X. 3X is probably, just being honest, the highest I go for now, because it's a lot behind expanding the size range, business wise. But I do plan on expanding beyond 2X to 3X in the future. But to answer your question, we do have 2X offering, but they go quick because we get a lot of people. They buy those pretty quick.
So, is there a next step to the manufacturing process? Doing things the way you're doing them now at the level that you're at. But what happens if the brand takes off and there's a high demand where you got to do more mass production? Is there another level to the manufacturing process that you got to get to?
There is. Thankfully, my manufacturer can handle huge quantities within the thousands. Multiple thousands. But just for my own strategy and I think business sake, I am looking for a second manufacturer, just to help out with that demand when it comes. And also, it's good to have options, because you never know what could happen to the manufacturer. Could go out of business, and if I only have one, then that stifles my growth as well. So I am looking for a second manufacturer just to have in my back pocket and utilize as well. So it's always good to have choices.
Yes, indeed, man.
And so I was going to ask about women's clothes. I see the sister here in the jacket, but will there be? Oh, hey, wifey, beautiful, by the way. And she looks 15 as well, both of y'all.
And y'all look alike, so y'all must have been together for a long time because y'all starting to look like each other.
Right.
We get that a lot.
Will there be a women's line pulling up on us?
Yes, eventually I do plan to expand in women's.
Yay.
In the meantime, a lot of our pieces can be worn by women, and you'll see as I release the spring next Friday, I have some. I have a very good female model displaying our spring line, so it is versatile in that women can wear our pieces as well. But I do plan to specifically have a women's line outside of the men's line eventually. Yes.
Man, I think I changed my mind
So
about
we
my
get to wear
favorites.
some gold dot Grants King too, ladies.
This is the one I was talking about, the plaid quilted, the green one. That was I think, number one on my list.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's why I just said I think I might have to change my mind on my favorite. Yeah, that's hard.
So is that a leather collar? I can't tell because it's small on my screen.
Yeah, it's a brown corduroy collar.
Okay.
It's corduroy. Mm-hmm.
Oh, said the collar, collar. The vest is dope.
Mm-hmm.
What is this, fleece?
Yeah, that's polar fleece.
Polar fleece.
Mm-hmm.
Very dope, very dope, very dope. As y'all can see, family, this is definitely one of the flyest brands out there. I'm not even gonna say black brands, although it is a black brand. It's just one of the flyest brands that's out there right now. So make sure y'all check our brother out, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Definitely, man. So yeah, is there anything that we didn't think to ask that you would like to share business-wise? Just anything at all?
Just any advice out there that I would give fellow entrepreneurs is don't give up. If you have a dream, you have a passion for something, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. You're going to run across obstacles, but you got to keep going and believe in yourself. You have a point of view that the world is waiting on, so you have to fight to get it out to them. So just keep pushing, do your research, study other the greats, study where they may have made some mistakes or what's working for them, but also do your own thing as well. Make it authentic, from your perspective. But I would just say just keep going and never give up.
Good stuff. Any last questions from the chat as we start to wind this thing down, family? Again, make sure that I appreciate everybody that's joining us tonight. If you're watching this on the replay or whatever platform you might be checking us out on, make sure that you hit the likes. Make sure that you share this out. Help us get into that algorithm. Excuse me. If you're watching this on another platform, make sure you head over to the YouTube channel and click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you could be reminded whenever we go live with new episodes. This is the Black Business Showcase. We do this each and every Wednesday and Thursday on Sincere Love to Godcast. We have different entrepreneurs and business owners come on and share their stories with us, just like you see here tonight. As usually we go live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and this is how we do, family. We just chop up some good game, man. Get to hear these inspiring stories and learn about the different industries, and we get to support each other. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yes. As a family.
Yeah,
definitely.
Right. Jackson, what is that, velvet?
I might actually get a comment on one of I think it was a blue top coat that I released last fall. That same comment, yeah, that was funny.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank y'all. All right, so
yes.
All right, so we're gonna wind this thing down and we're gonna end it in Godcast fashion like we always do. So we just got 2 more questions before we let you get out of here for the night, brother.
Okay.
Mr. Quentin, I have to ask, what does freedom mean to you?
Freedom means to me, time means freedom. When you're truly free, you operate on your own time. You don't have to be a certain place. You don't necessarily have to be obligated to someone else that you don't want to be obligated to. So to me, time equates freedom. When you can operate on your own time at any given time, then that to me that means freedom.
Yeah, why are you so prepared with all these great responses?
Right.
What's going on here? You do this all the
We
time?
looked at one of the episodes.
All right, let's see if you're prepared for this, because this is the part where
Right.
I put you on the Summer Jam screen, and now you got to spit 16 bars. So let's see if you're
Oh,
prepared.
man.
No, I'm kidding, man. Well, you kind of did it with the words of advice, but usually this is the part where I ask you. I give you the microphone, and right now the whole Black community can hear what it is that you have to say. So, any parting words that you would like to leave everybody with tonight before we get out of here?
Yeah, just like I said, God created us all to be unique. If you don't believe it, then our fingerprints are all different. So, rest assured that you were created for a reason. So tap into why you were created, and never give up on trying to express yourself, whether it be clothing or any other type of business. Ownership is important. So you just got to keep moving forward, keep God first, and that's it. Just keep moving forward. Don't give up.
Good enough. That's good enough for us. We'll take it.
Yeah,
we'll take it. I had a feeling you was ready with the 16, though. I had a feeling you was ready.
Right.
I started thinking fans like, man, Outcast verse or something. I don't know.
For real. But all right, so I do ask one more question, since you just mentioned the importance of ownership.
Yeah.
Because we asked the brother last night too, kind of a similar question, like, as your company begins to grow, as it will, and you become super huge, you know what I'm saying? Would you ever sell the brand to someone outside of the community and relinquish ownership and just let somebody take over, or are there certain terms that would have to be involved if you would even consider it? What do you think about that? Because a lot of times companies get big and then they sell to big bank take little bank.
Right. I don't see me selling. This is, like I said, my passion, and I would be afraid that if I sold it, then my vision would get lost to the next owner. So I really want to continue this out throughout the family and pass it on. Now it'll be up to my kids to determine, once I'm gone, if they're going to sell it. But I don't anticipate, selling it or giving complete ownership. I may invite investors to take a stake in it, with me still having primary or at least 51% ownership. I can see a situation like that. But as far as just wiping my hands clean with it, I'm too afraid that the name will get tarnished. My name is attached to it. So I don't anticipate me selling the brand.
All right, good stuff.
We still want it to be Black.
Yeah, too.
Black, like that, we love to support our own. I do. I tell people all the time, when all these businesses come on here, entrepreneurs, it's up to us as a community to support. They do not survive and thrive without us. We are what make everything fly. We are the culture, right?
Yeah.
So it's up to us, to support, share, because, sharing it on your social media, free 99. You can do that, but definitely, support in any capacity you can, because again, it's up to us.
Definitely, yes.
All right. So again, man, appreciate you tapping in with us tonight. Great conversation, very inspiring story, and again, love your stuff. I will be pulling up on you one of these days soon. You know what I'm saying? Let you get me right.
Yeah.
If you have anything coming up, any launches, events, or anything like that, keep in touch with us. Let us know what you got going on. This is what we're here for. We love to promote people's brands, people's businesses. You know what I mean? So just let us know if you need us for anything like that. You know what I mean? Or if any live events is coming up that I could pull up to, I would definitely love to be, you know what I'm saying, a part of something. So yeah, stay in touch, man.
Definitely. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys for having me on. I definitely enjoyed this. keep doing your thing. I think what you're doing is very important. So I appreciate you, having not just, my business, but other Black businesses owners showcasing their talent and, having them reach, a different audience and be able to tell their story. So I commend you on that and continue to do the good work.
Right. And connect us with Pops too. We want to talk with Pops.
Okay, I will. Definitely. I'll do that.
Especially since he's an LA native with me,
Yeah.
we're gonna connect on the LA thing.
All right. And so, yes, family, that does it for today's episode of the Black Business Showcase. Appreciate y'all tuning in as always. Make sure you are following me. I'm at Sincere Love to God on all social media platforms. Make sure you are following my lovely co-host, Nicety Girl, at Nicety Girl with the number 1 on Instagram and without the number 1 on other social media platforms. And let everybody know where they can follow you at as well too, brother.
Yeah, so it's at GOAT by James King, both Instagram and Facebook. And then the website is www.goatbyjamesking.com.
Yes, indeed. And like I always tell y'all, family, we are not the master teachers. We are only the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. Thank y'all for tuning in.
All right. And I want to thank you again, Mr. Quinn, for coming on tonight, allowing us to be all in your Black business. Thank you, Wifey, for being in the chat and supporting as well. Thank you, everyone else in the chat, for your questions and supporting as well. And we will see you guys on Sunday. And then next Wednesday, we will have Rory D. Douglas, chopping it up with him on the Black Business Showcase. So you guys, again, have a good one. Good night. Have a good weekend, y'all.
Peace.
All right, appreciate it.
Do for self or suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah's inside of the conscientious. So I move.